really good to have organizations that like RSPB and National Trust actually come on board and maybe recognize solar as a key renewables, because those messages haven't really happened, and we haven't had any media coverage on that. So it's really nice to see organizations like that, and also the NFU and independent ecologists actually talk about the benefits of biodiversity and solar farms, and the two can actually work very well together. Obviously it's a new technology and people aren't really that familiar with how it works, and it hasn't been around for a really long time. So a lot of the new solar farms haven't really had established wildlife, or wildflowers haven't really grown. And so it's really important because it shows people the actual benefits of a solar farm, that it is passive technology, that animals and birds and bees and wildflowers and even sheep can live happily around the solar farm and not be disturbed in any way, and it can be quite a successful ecological habitat eventually over time, but people do need to give solar farms a chance because these things take time. We've always been championing education, and we realize that there is a lack of pictures, videos, and we're very committed to making sure that people understand our solar farms and people understand what goes on in a solar farm. And we try to do as much as we can to make sure that those messages are made available, and the information is made available to people who are looking for it, so that they can see that actually we're not ruining the countryside. When they do go to the solar farm, they can see that actually only, relatively speaking, 30% of the land is actually occupied by solar panels and infrastructure, and the rest of the land can be used in a number of ways. We've had some solar farms that have been built in 2011, so we've started engaging independent ecologists. We've also partnered with the University of Exeter, and their PhD students have just completed a biodiversity study on some of our sites in the southwest that are older. And as a result, we've got wild hares, we've got grey partridge, we've managed to photograph butterflies, bees, and everything else, just to show people that it's not going to become a desolate industrial site, that nature does grow and it establishes. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So we're not going to be able to satisfy everybody's point of view. I guess it could be a pun, but what we try and say is solar it's very easy to screen solar, it's very easy to integrate solar into the landscape because it's passive, because it's one of the few technologies that doesn't actually harm the ground that it's installed on. It can be installed very quickly, and therefore, because it's new and various cuts, various government legislative changes has forced us to develop in a very fast pace, and we accept that, if we had maybe more time, we could have done a bit more mitigation measures to ensure that certain plants are, integrated better. But we had to really build at quite a fast pace. So as a result, people did not have the time to become familiar with the technology over time as they would do with other technologies. So in that sense, we try our best wherever possible to mitigate views. And we hope that eventually people will realize that this is actually good technology, and it benefits and it should be taken seriously.